Steve, how are you? Good, good. The rain gives you time to kind of slow down, so that's good. Mhm. My sister lived out there for a year. She just moved back to Atlanta. She didn't like it. Not enough to stay longer than a year. Not long enough to stay. At first the weather was good. When I went out there to visit her for the first time, it was actually sunny and hot when I went. So we didn't experience any rain when we were there, but it did rain often and she was just like, "Nah, I don't care for it." It's Interestingly, it's one of those areas where Black women are least accepted. So she had issues at work with that kind of thing, like the microaggressions and being the only Black woman at the job and being in a position, a ranking position and making a lot of money, and they knew it. So she was like, mm-mm. Yeah, yeah. Portland and Seattle. That's what you would think. See, that's the trick. You would think because it's so liberal, but it's really just them being able to do what they want to do. And yeah, it's actually one of the most. Mhm, mhm. Yeah, yeah. And she was like, you would think coming from the South, having to deal with that. She was like, nah, it's a whole different ball game. It's like a cohort type of like under you wouldn't know it unless you're actually there in it. So, mhm. Mhm.
Say that dealing with that type of experience in the South is different than like the North,
Mhm.
just in my experience. Um, because you expect it in the South, right?
Yeah.
You expect people to kind of have that. But I do think Atlanta is different. And I say all the time, I think that Black people, every Black person should experience living in Atlanta, even if it's just for a year.
Mhm.
It is such a beautiful experience. It's a beautiful thing to be able to be in an environment where everybody looks like you, and the teachers are Black, and the doctors are Black. And it is. I think that Black people should experience living in Atlanta for sure.
I'm glad you say
Um,
that. I'm glad you say that because Atlanta
I
gets
love, oh,
a lot of
because people
negative
don't
talk.
know anything outside of their environment.
Yeah.
And people, having lived in so many different places, people only know what is happening in their community, and then they get on the internet, they turn on the TV, and they hear Atlanta is a beautiful
It
place. I had
is.
a wonderful experience. It is so beautiful. Yes, and everybody's so accepting and open. I think another thing people struggle with is when they move into these different communities, they expect it to be like back home,
Mhm.
and it's like you can't expect home. This is a whole different culture,
Yep.
and you just have to integrate and just be grateful that you're there. But I loved Atlanta.
Yeah.
I think it was. If I had to move somewhere, like go back to somewhere outside of Chicago, it would be Atlanta for sure.
Would it? Okay. I'm always like
Hmm.
I'm 5 years into living in Atlanta and I'm like, if I were to move, where would I go? Because
Yeah,
yeah.
no, Atlanta is great. I do think, but for sure, go out there, see what else is out there, because your son's getting older,
Mhm.
so you'll be shipping him off soon,
Mhm.
and then you can go and do wherever and go wherever
I
you
always
want to
say
go.
New York. I always say when he goes to college, I'm gonna spend a
Yeah,
year in New York. And then I don't know from there. I feel like I'll always have a home in Atlanta though. And like
yeah,
just kind of do my thing. Yeah. Once he's off in
yeah.
5 years.
Should, which is I'm sure is gonna come like in no
Yeah.
time. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So we have Mother's Day coming up in a few weeks, and I know we wanted to talk about kind of our experiences as single moms and because there's so many misconceptions of what it means to be a mother and what it means to be a single mom. I think when you hear single mom, there's immediately this reaction of something negative, right?
Mm-hmm.
That you're broke and you're, God forbid, you're raising sons.
Yeah.
You don't know what you're doing there.
Yeah.
You're sending these men out to the world. You're a single mother. You're failing,
Yep.
right? And so that has not been our experience. So I think it's great that we can come together and kind of share what our experiences have been like being single mothers and being single mothers who are raising boys,
Yeah.
and what it means to raise boys who are empathetic and considerate, and teaching them how to go out into the world and be good people.
Yeah. Yeah. That's everything. Teaching your child how to have good character. Yeah. And them seeing it being modeled for sure. For sure.
Right. For
Yeah.
sure. For
That
sure.
is definitely a big topic, being a single mom raising a son, and what success looks like as a mother, first of all, as a woman, and then bringing or incorporating a child in it being a boy, and then you having to go through the process of raising a boy on your own. There's a definite negative stigma behind being a single mother, number one. Number two, being a Black single mother. There's like an added layer on top of that makes it's just so much that we have to face and we have to deal with when it comes to being a single mother. And it's like, you're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't. Like, you can't be happy, you can't be down. So it's just like, yeah. What has been your experience?
I love being a single mother because I'm a person who loves being single. I have always loved being single. And it's so much to the point that when I'm in relationships, I start to feel overwhelmed because I don't like having people depend on me because the whole eldest daughter thing. So I always thought that, one, I never wanted to be a mother. Like, motherhood was like, I don't want no kids. I don't want to do that. But when I became a mother, I thought being a single mother actually aligns with who I am because it allows me to still navigate my life in a way that I'm used to. I don't have to answer to a co-parent. I don't have to make decisions with a co-parent. There's no difference in my life than it was before. Now I got a kid.
Yeah.
We still travel and we move around how we want to. And so I think that it really works for who I am. And I get to raise my child the way that I want to raise him.
Yeah.
I remember when I was pregnant, my aunt had said to me that, sometimes you're trying to make something work and the universe is like, no. Is this the environment that you want your child to grow up in? And no, I get to raise my child the way that I want to raise him and shape him and mold him in a way that I know that I want him to go out into society. And so I don't know, being a single mother just works very well for me.
Yeah. I would agree.
Yeah.
It works well for me as well. And I saw a post that was funny, and it said the hardest thing about being a single mom is dealing with that child's other parent. That's probably one of the, especially if
for sure,
if that situation is toxic or bringing in toxic energy. And a lot of women want to have their families together. They want to raise their children in a two-parent household because that nuclear family is what, it's been pushed in our brains since the beginning of time that children are supposed to have a two-parent household, and that's how you're going to produce the greatest outcome with your children. But there are some nuances to that. If both of those parents are not healthy, if both of those parents are not safe, then you're doing your child a disservice by staying and suffering through having a two-parent household just for optics. When in reality, everybody in the house, the children are miserable, you're miserable, everybody's walking on eggshells, and it's doing more harm than good.
Right.
So
no, you're absolutely right.
Yeah.
I don't believe in staying for the kids. No. I don't. I don't. You're miserable. The kid's miserable. Everybody's miserable. No, I don't believe in that. And I agree 100%. It could be the hardest thing about being a single parent is dealing with the other person. I want more women to lean into, don't deal.
Yep. Yep.
You take me to court.
Yep.
Is that
Yeah.
serious to you?
Yeah.
I will be at court.
Yeah.
We'll see you there.
That's what I did.
But all of the, because it become, why are you spending your energy there?
Mm-hmm.
You have to give your energy to yourself. And you have to give your energy to your child.
Yeah.
You don't have the time to pour into trying to make this situation work.
Mm-hmm.
And I came across a TikTok a few weeks ago, this single mom, and she was, just so upset. She was sitting in her car. She was talking about how her and her daughter had planned a day, and then the dad called, and he said, "What are you guys doing today? I want to take y'all out to eat or something." 7 whole hours went by, and he didn't show up. He didn't answer the phone. Completely ruined their day, and she was so angry. And she was like, "I don't understand why he would do this."
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, "Babe, that's control.
Yeah, absolutely.
You gotta nip that in the bud
Quickly, because they know exactly what they're doing. They have no intentions of being involved in their child's life. They just want to start some drama with you, control you, and be able to control the narrative and upset the flow of what you have going on. Absolutely. And a lot of women have to get past being called bitter because you decide this stops right here. I am not going to allow this other parent to be in and out and up and down and not consistent and ruin my child's, my child's spirit, my child's energy, my child's life. I saw something too that said an absent parent is better than an inconsistent parent.
For sure. For sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, because at the end of the day, the people are going to call you bitter anyway.
Yeah.
Who cares?
Yeah.
So what?
Yeah.
And okay, I'm bitter. Now what?
Yeah.
Now what?
Yeah.
What's the next thing? I'm bitter. Okay.
You have to get past
I can
that.
be bitter. Exactly. I'm bitter, but my child is healthy. My home is happy. It's peaceful. The environment is who cares?
Yeah.
Right. And I agree. I think that there is a, because it's, well, I don't want to be the one to interfere with their relationship. It's not on you to nurture and cultivate that relationship. That's on the other.
Yep. And the child
Your
will
job
see.
is to show. And the children will see. And it doesn't take them long to know. It doesn't take them long for it to, I just, I want more women to lean into. Cut that shit off.
I did.
You don't have to. I'm not. Yeah. So me too.
I did. My son was 6 weeks old. I said, it took one. We had a little tat, and he was talking about paying the bills and this and that and third and all of this. I said, oh, you got but one time to say some stuff like that to me. I went to that doctor. My son was 6 weeks. I said, I'm out of here. And that was 13 years ago. And he learned, don't play with me. And of course, he was actually the one that, did the whole court thing, and it actually ended up backfiring, and he put himself on child support, and which is up and down. You might get something today. You might, we never know when that's coming or when that's going to be consistent. And it has just, and I said, you know what? I'm not doing this. I'm not doing this. We are not going to have this type of back and forth. And for a long time, I did try my hardest to ensure that my son had a relationship with him. But I said, this is going to be at the expense of my mental health. And then if my mental health is affected, it's going to affect him, which it did. I started to see that. And I said, oh, no. Oh, no, that stops. And after a while, he got tired, and we haven't heard from him in almost 6 years. So,
wow.
And we have been.
Your son doesn't ask about.
He doesn't want to. My son realized who he was. I think he was with him one time, and he said something very negative about me to him. And I guess him not spending as much time with him, he didn't realize how bright my son actually is. And my son remembered that, and he came home and he was like, I'm done with that. And here go me. I'm like, no, I'm a big girl. I can handle it. Don't worry about what he said about me. And my son was like, no, if he doesn't apologize to you, and I believe he was 8 years old. He said, if he doesn't apologize to you, I am not talking to him anymore. And when I say that was the end, that was the end. He's 13 now, and he's like, no, I'm not. I don't
It's
want to
not
spend
interested.
time with him. I don't want to talk to him. I don't want to go
Right.
around him. And I'm like, oh, he's becoming a little man now. So like he means what he
He has his own
says.
thoughts and
Like,
opinions now.
yeah, like
Yeah,
he
yeah,
means, and he
yeah,
means it. Like he means it.
yeah.
And I'm like, oh well, they got each other phone numbers, so
Right,
they can communicate, and I don't have anything to do with that, and I don't care what I'm called or what it looks like, but we are
right,
happy and we are thriving.
right. And that's all that matters.
Yeah,
That's your job. Your job is to make sure that you're your best so that you can pour the best into your child. Because who cares if society says that you're bitter and well, so what?
yeah, yeah,
Now next
yeah.
and society has plenty of things to say. I'm a Black
Mm-hmm.
woman. There's always something to say.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
And you know
yeah.
what? Research and data is starting to catch up with it, because for a long time there was this thing that single mothers cannot raise successful children, and that successful
Mhm.
children had to be raised in a two-parent household. So I pulled this article, and it talks about how single mothers can absolutely raise successful children. The broader research literature shows that a child's outcomes are influenced less by single motherhood and more by income stability, parental
Mhm.
involvement, stress levels, family conflict, neighborhood safety, school quality, and access to support systems. So this was done
Yeah.
in 2015 by a journal of social science research. So,
And when you're checking all those boxes,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah,
So the key to being a successful single mother is having resources, having money,
having resources,
financial
having
stability.
money.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's right. That's right. And when you're a single mother, you're going to do whatever you need to do
Yeah,
to get the money.
yeah,
I'm going to do whatever I need to do.
yeah.
I'm going to do whoever and whatever. I'm getting this money.
Come hell or water.
I'm going to get this money. Who and what,
It
I
don't
don't
matter. It
care.
doesn't matter. Get that money. Make that money. Don't let it make you.
Exactly. Oh, you're right. And when the more money you have, the more
Mhm.
resources you can afford. We had a full-time nanny in Atlanta. We had a full-time nanny and a full-time housekeeper, and it just allows me to make money.
What
All
was
I have to
that
do is make money.
like?
Girl, first of all, people reacted very
Oh, I'm
negatively
sure.
about me having. They did not. Your grandmothers and the women before us. The women before us were killing themselves
Mm-hmm.
to keep men happy and raise 15 kids.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not doing that.
Mm-hmm.
That's not what the universe has called me to do, but it was wonderful. Every woman that I come in contact with that has children, I tell them, get a nanny. Even if it's part time, get you a nanny. Get a part time housekeeper, someone to just come and do the laundry and sweep the floors twice a week,
Wow.
once a week.
So
It,
delegating.
yes.
Delegating. Now,
Take as much off your plate as you
what
can, for sure.
what
Yes.
convinced you to do that? Like, what, you being a single mom, and this is helping other single moms, and they're like, especially because you
Hmm.
have an interesting uniqueness about motherhood with you only having one child.
Right.
So, what made you say, you know what? I am going to choose to get a nanny. I'm going to choose to get a housekeeper. Like, what was that process like? Because a lot of women struggle with that as well. Like, people being negative to them for, oh, you only
Right.
have one child. What do you need a nanny for? Oh, you only have one child. What do you need
Right.
a housekeeper for? Or even something as
Hmm.
small as ordering your groceries, because I'm a
Right.
faithful grocery orderer. Like, I
Right.
haven't been to the
Right.
grocery store in months. And that's where I
Right.
started. But I haven't had a nanny. So what was that process like?
Girl, I knew when I was pregnant, I was getting a nanny.
Okay.
I knew when I did, I wrote down all the things that I wanted for our lives. And I knew I wanted a nanny and I knew I wanted to have a housekeeper and at least a part time assistant for sure, because I knew that I was going to be taking this journey alone. And I just, I didn't want to have to use all of my energy being a working woman, being a single mother, and managing my household.
Mm-hmm.
And so I thought that I at least owed it to myself and to my child to bring in some extra hands. And it's funny because when I started looking for a nanny in Atlanta, I was searching on all these Facebook groups and I came across this lady, an older Black lady who had an agency down there. And when I reached out to her, she was actually from Chicago.
Okay.
And so we're talking and she's like, "What did you say your name was?" And I'm like, "Oh, it's Diona Richards." And she's like, "Richards? Is your family from such?" And I'm like, "Yeah." She's like, "I know your grandmother. I know your grandmother, baby. Don't worry about nothing. I got somebody I'm going to send you." And she sent me the sweetest, kindest, caring lady. She wasn't even an older lady. She couldn't have been no older than like 48, 49.
Okay.
Because she still had children who were graduating high school. And she would pick my son up from school and bring him home, help him with his homework, cook his meals. And I would be sitting right in my office doing my work, get him ready for bed, get him bathed, and she's going on about her business.
Mm-hmm.
And it was the best thing ever because it was just one less thing that I had to do. I could focus on making the money and she got him taken care of. And then eventually she was like, I know you like your housekeeper, but I could just do it all.
Mm-hmm.
I could come during the hours when he's at school and take care of all the laundry and clean the house. And, when he comes home, I can go into that role. And so it really, really worked out. I encourage all women. Girl, it was a
That's
blessing.
amazing. Did you deal with any
It
guilt
really
with that?
is.
With her picking him up from
Not a
school?
drop.
Okay. Because some
Absolutely
mothers
not
might
a
deal with the guilt
Girl, I
of,
didn't feel guilty about nothing.
okay.
For what?
Okay.
For what? Because I had vetted this woman
Mm-hmm.
and it wasn't like I completely turned. I still had to get up with him in the morning and make him
Mm-hmm.
breakfast. I was still responsible for him on the weekends. I'm in the middle of the night when he's throwing up all over the place. I'm the one taking care of it. I carried this boy in my body,
Mm-hmm.
So no, I don't feel anything. And I definitely had people who were pushing back. Even my mom pushed back some. Just like, well, you don't need any. Yes, I do.
Mm-hmm.
I do because I need my sanity.
Yeah.
And I had to be able to show up as my best self, not just for me, but for him as well. And if that means outsourcing some responsibility, then why not?
That's an excellent
Yeah.
perspective. That's an excellent perspective,
Mhm.
especially with or for single mothers who do not have a village. Sometimes when
Right.
that village doesn't come from your family, you have to create and sometimes pay
Mhm.
for your village. So I think that's an amazing perspective because a lot of women don't even think about paying for the village and
Right.
living, today's grandmas the way that they used to
Because they're
do.
young.
Yeah, for various reasons.
They're young.
For various reasons. But I think that's an amazing point because you were not afraid to hire the village. So that's a great tip for mothers out there. Like hire some help.
But I think even if you have a
Mm-hmm.
village, you should still hire some help
Okay.
because sometimes what'll happen is you have these expectations for your village,
Mm-hmm.
for the people that's familiar to you, right? And they don't show up the way that you expect them to.
Mm-hmm.
They don't show up the way that you have showed up for them or you would show up for them. And you can find yourself getting frustrated and then resentment can build in, right?
Yeah.
And so instead of even putting yourself and your village in that position, let them show up the best way that they know how, but you're going to hire people to fill in the gap. So that way, things are going to be done exactly the way I want them to be done because I'm putting my money in.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have to get upset with somebody for, at the last minute deciding they can wash my
Yeah.
child. I don't even have to deal with
Yeah.
that because I'm paying somebody to take care of
Yeah.
myself here. So I think that even if you have a village, if you can afford to bring in extra hands and extra help, definitely for sure do it.
So let me ask you this.
Yeah.
What financial tips would you give a single mother because of course you have to be able to afford to be able to do these things. So what advice I know we're not, talking about financial literacy, but just surface level, what are some financial tips that you could offer single mothers who may be considering this, but they just can't afford it? Like, what are some things that you think they can do to be able to at least afford it, a housekeeper, or afford to have the
Yeah.
groceries delivered or laundry service? Like, what would you
Yeah.
suggest with that?
That's a great question because especially with the environment that we're in today with what's, Black women being laid off from all of their jobs, I encourage women to start building a portfolio and look into becoming a freelancer. take all that experience that you've had in corporate America or whatever industry that you were in and start building a portfolio. Because I quit my 6-figure job in 2023.
Okay.
And I took that experience from my 20 years in corporate and I looked at my resume and I really analyzed my resume from a recruiter level, right? And I looked to see what are my skills, what are my hard skills, what are my soft skills, who's in my network, who do I know has projects that they're working on, and maybe they don't want to have to hire someone at a 6-figure salary that they have to keep on, and they have to pay for insurance and pay for vacation and all these things that you have to pay for. You can bring me on as a freelancer. So even if you're working full time, because I was working full time when I started freelancing on the side, and I would use that money to be able to pay, okay, I'm going to use all of this money to pay my bills, to save and invest, and my corporate money, I'm going to use that to fund the outside help that I'm bringing.
Okay.
So I always encourage women, even if you have a healthy, stable job, get you a little something on the side,
Multiple
taking on one
sources of
project a week.
income. Multiple sources of income.
I'll do anything.
Me too.
I did Instacart when I lived in LA. I started doing Instacart January of 2019. I would work my corporate 9 to 5, and I would get off work, and from 5 to 9 p.m. I did Instacart all day long, every day, and I was bringing in an extra $600-700 a week at that time. Great money. And then I was shipping that all back to Chicago because that's where my baby was. And that's just money that I didn't have to worry about paying out of my corporate job.
Yes, that's a great point. You have to not be afraid to go get that money. As somebody who's pulled I probably got 4 jobs on time, and it's always been like that. I've worked 16, 18-hour days sometimes back when he was smaller, and I can say that there has not been one job that I have had that I have not brought him to that job. I've left this job and had to go pick him up, and we went to the next job. My son has sat in classrooms with me. I teach night classes. He was little. I taught night classes at the college. He would be sitting in college classes with his iPad, with his snacks, with his sippy cup, and I'm working. Like, I'm working. He's coming with me. So not being afraid to have those multiple sources of income. Same for me. Always there's a certain safety in knowing that you have those multiple sources. And I'm like you, there is not an industry I can't think that I have not worked. I have not been a dancer, but I did bartend at the strip club at night.
Really?
I did. Yes, ma'am.
Wow, that's nice.
I did. I bartended. I sure did. I would teach. Get off work. And get off work and go to the club at night. Stay to the club till like 2. And I've done it all. I've done it all.
And I think you shouldn't be afraid to do it all. I've never been in a whole bunch of different industries. I started my career off in investment banking, and then I transitioned to the nonprofit space. But when I got to LA, I just knew, and the money has always been good, right? But first of all, LA was really expensive. But I knew that I wanted to send money back home where my child was. And so I'm just like, I'm just pick up an extra source of income. What is the big deal, right? And now I got a side hustle. And I like to shop. So doing Instacart wasn't nothing for me. I'm like, this is satisfying my little shopping itch, and I get to make extra money. But an extra source of income, anything that you can do. And when I say anything, I don't care what. I hustle men. I don't care.
Whatever it is.
I have had men. You want to talk to me? This is how much the rent is. Because I don't want to use this rent money. I want to use that for something else. I don't
Make them
care.
pay for your time. Make them pay for your time. Absolutely.
I'm not sure if
self-feed pics.
It's gonna cost you. You have to pay to talk to me, and I'm very serious. Because extra sources of income, and that includes them.
You gotta make your money and not be afraid to get out there and make that money, because that is what's going to be the determining factor of you being a successful mom. And then with that too, you're able to move your child in neighborhoods that have good schools. If you don't want to pay for private school, you're able to move yourself in those neighborhoods where there's A schools. The schools are great. Now your child is in a great neighborhood with great children, great teachers,
Yep.
great community involvement. And that helps. Children
Yeah.
need stability and peace. And if you can
Right.
do that, that's what you should do. And
Right.
I must say, and this is not to toot my own horn or anything, but we lived in a neighborhood and I was the only single mom in the area. It was like a cul-de-sac kind of area. And I was the only single mother in that area. And my child was doing the best in terms of grades, his academic achievement, his character, his involvement. He was the most traveled, like out of all. And these children came from two-parent households. And the mothers would ask me, like, what are you doing that he's, so smart and he's making good grades and you don't have any behavioral issues with him? Like, what are you doing? And my response to that is, my house is peaceful. My house is peaceful. So I have peace. So I'm able to pour that into him. And he's able to come home in a peaceful environment with structure, and we have a routine, and he's thriving. So yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
You're stable. You're stable. People, because oftentimes we hear the word stability, you think that it means being in one place for a long period of time, never moving. No. You're stable.
Yeah.
You're stable in here and in here.
Yeah.
And because of that, you're creating a stable environment. And your child is being raised in a state. It doesn't matter where we live, where we are. I'm stable.
Yeah.
And having money helps with that.
Yeah.
Having money helps you be stable.
Absolutely.
I am not one to shy away from saying you need money.
Yeah.
That's just what it is.
Same.
Even if you're a mother and you're in a partnership or you're married, you need your own money.
Don't ever not have your own money.
You need your own money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you're partnered and you have the ability, get your education and get you some money.
Get your education.
Get you some money. Yeah.
Get you some money.
You said something else too. You said, when I lived in Chicago, when I lived in Atlanta, now I'm in New York. So that's another thing, not being afraid to uproot and go somewhere different for better opportunities.
Yes.
Because a lot of people think I need to stay in the city where my family is, because I think a lot of moms will psych themselves into believing that they have this substantial amount of help with their child. And in reality, you're really doing it all by yourself anyway. So it's okay to move somewhere. But that was my experience living in the same city with my support system. I really sat down and I was like, you're really doing this by yourself. So if you can go somewhere else to elevate your life and make more money, do that. And you and your child will be fine. And that's what I did. I was not afraid to relocate. And it has been one of the best decisions I have ever made. I've made the most money. I've created a soft life for myself. And I'm a single mother and I have a soft life. I have slow mornings. I can go work out. We can travel. And it has been amazing. It has been amazing.
Yeah.
And that doesn't mean it doesn't have its challenges. I get tired.
Life has its challenges. Right? Life has its challenges. And I think that that's something that people struggle to understand is, being a single mother is hard. Being a mother is hard. Being a woman is hard. Being alive is hard.
Yeah.
Okay. It is. So you have to decide, can I do hard things? Or am I going to let this defeat me? And I was never going to let motherhood defeat me.
Absolutely not.
It wasn't. It just wasn't something that it was not going to be a thing that defeated me. Once I accepted that, okay, this is a role that I'm going to step into, if anything, it has charged me up.
Yeah.
It makes me feel invincible.
Yeah. Yeah, there's nothing you can't do. I can do it.
I'm killing it. I am killing this. Yeah. Yeah, like seriously. No. And you're right. You can't be afraid to leave outside of your comfort zone and leave outside of what you think is safe, because you don't know what is waiting on the other side. And like you, every time I just try something new or do something different, I make more and more money.
Yeah.
I make more and more connections. My network grows larger, and it's just, it benefits myself and it benefits my child.
Yeah.
And he's gotten to experience so many different
Yeah.
cultures and communities, and he's so well versed
Yeah.
and he knows how to maneuver. And since we moved to New York, I have seen my child mature so much because
Also.
he is so much more
Mm-hmm.
independent. He's fearless now because living in the South, I was driving him
Yep.
everywhere. And when we lived in tech now in Atlanta, this wasn't really a thing because where we lived, it was a very walkable community. Like the neighborhood was really walkable. But when we lived in Fort Worth, where we just moved from, there was nowhere you couldn't walk anywhere. It was hot, it was miserable, there was no sidewalks, you had to drive everywhere. Um, it was too hot to be outside to go play at the playground. And since we've moved here, he's so brave
Mm-hmm.
now. He likes to go to the corner store by himself, and it's like, "Mom, can I, pop across the street to Chick-fil-A?" And I wanted that for him because that was the experience that I had growing up in Chicago. I started taking public transportation by myself in the 5th grade.
Okay.
I was 11 years old. My cousin taught me how to get on a bus, and I wanted to have that same experience for my child. I don't want him growing up afraid to take public transportation. I don't want him growing up afraid to go out and try things for himself. And I noticed that because he had to depend on me to take him places and do things. And he was kind of like drawn
Mm-hmm.
in, and now he's so outgoing. He wants to try everything, go everywhere, do everything. I can do it. I can
Mm-hmm.
go. I can. And so there's a Whole Foods across the street from us, and he just found out that they sell Roblox
Okay.
cards. So Sunday he's like, "Mom, can I run across the street to Whole Foods to get me a Roblox card?"
Yeah.
Yeah, of course you can. Yeah. So it's been really good. It's been good, and I'm happy that I'm in the mental position, not just financially, but I'm in a mental position where I can allow him to do that.
That's
Yeah.
great. That's great because a lot of moms think you have to raise your children in the suburbs and they have to live in a certain type of area. And I'm not
Mm,
sure if I can take my kid to the city and them have the hustle and the bustle so
mm-mm,
that's great
mm-mm,
to be able to see
mm-mm.
how that transition, how he's transitioned from Texas to New York and how it's
Yeah.
been great for the both of you.
Yeah, yeah, and I agree. A lot of people are, there. You have to be in the suburbs. I'm not a person who can live in the suburbs.
Hmm.
I tried it for 10 years. I can't do it.
Yeah.
I I was dying, and it's funny because my grandmother on my dad's side, she's a city girl.
Hmm.
She's a 78-year-old city girl, born and raised in Chicago all her life, but she moved to Texas with my aunt back in 2018,
Hmm.
and hates
Wow.
it's nowhere to go. I can't get on a bus.
Hmm.
I can't walk anywhere. So, some people really are just
City
city
people.
people.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
yeah, and I didn't want my child, I wanted him to have that experience. I wanted him to see what it was like living in the suburb. And I wanted to try it because, that's the thing. You should raise your kid in the
Hmm.
suburb, and you should. I don't like this.
Yeah.
This does not feel good to me. I don't like this. And so I am very grateful that he has this experience in this time now. And as soon as he gets to 5th grade, I'm going to teach him, you can get on this train.
Yeah.
And it's different because I was on the train and I had no
Yeah.
phones. I
We
had
didn't
flip
have
pay
phones
phone if
back
I
then.
needed to call
There was
somebody.
no cell
Exactly.
phone.
You get lost, you better ask somebody for directions. I'm like, you got these cell phones and I can track you.
Hmm.
So I'm very excited to teach him how to use public transportation by himself, because I don't want him to be afraid to do those things.
I think
Yeah.
that's great. I think that's great. And you're really hitting all these points today because you talked about your happiness. And I think that's
Hmm.
a point that we need to drive home too. Like it is okay to put yourself, your wants, your needs, your desires first. You don't always have
Yes.
to put your child before yourself in order to be a
Yes.
great mother. And I think that's one of the things that makes motherhood a joy when you realize or when you
Hmm.
reach that point where you're like, I gotta be happy too. I gotta do what makes me happy
Exactly.
too. And if I'm happy, then my child is gonna be happy. If I'm
Right.
miserable, they're gonna be miserable. So
Hmm.
not being afraid to put yourself first and make decisions that make you happy. Of course,
Right.
within reason, you're not putting your children in harm's
Right.
way or anything, but
Right.
you know, putting yourself first as a mother because you can't pour from an empty cup.
Right. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, no, you're agree. I agree 100%. And you make a great point about putting your children in harm's way. Are you going to put yourself in harm's
Yeah.
way? if you're not going to put yourself, because if you are willing to do things, then we got a bigger
Mm-hmm.
problem, right? But you're not willing to put yourself in harm's way. So you have to know that when you are putting yourself first, this is going to benefit your child as well. It
Yeah.
is. It's going to benefit your
What
child.
if?
Yeah. Now,
Go ahead.
go ahead. No, what were you going to say? No, I was just going to ask, now, do you date? And if you do date, have any men ever met your child?
I have dated. And yes, men have met my child. I actually got married. So I had a whole
Again.
no, just the one time. Just the one time.
Oh,
Just the
okay.
one time. No, it won't be. It won't be any more of those. No. And to be honest, I did it for the plot. I'm not gonna hold you. It wasn't. I didn't take it serious. I know people get so in a disarray when I say that, but it's the truth. I did it for the plot. I just did it. And it lasted 75.
Item.
It lasted 75 days and I got out of it.
Okay, Kim K. Kim Kardashian.
It lasted 75 days and I got out of it. Now, we did not live together. So I have dated. My son has met a couple of guys that I've dated, and he had a great relationship with them, but I have never lived with a man. So I don't believe in bringing men into my home to stay, or me cohabitating with a man, or uprooting myself and my child to go live with a man. I absolutely do not do that. I'm never going to do that. And I think that has also made my kid very, very happy, because it's just always been us. And I value that. I value knowing that my child has a peaceful home. I value being able to go to sleep at night peacefully, knowing that my child is not in harm's way when I close my eyes and go to sleep at night. So I'm very big on that. So although he has met a couple of guys that I have dated, he's 13. So he has, but it's never been to a point, like I said, even married, I'm not living with you. You're not living with me. We're not bringing this together. So people look at me crazy when I say that, but I'm okay with that. And I felt like I have made the best decision by not trying to like cohabitate with the man. What about you?
Yeah. I have not lived with a man since I've had my son. And I think even if I hadn't had him, I've lived with a man twice before, and I don't like living with a man.
I did it once.
I don't like it. But my son has only ever met one man, and he was 2 years old. And the only reason why he met that man is because he was paying for his daycare tuition. We used to like hang out, and because he had a daughter that was the same age as my son at the time. And so we would take the kids out, but he was paying for daycare and rent and buying cars. Outside of that, you don't need to meet my child. Are you dating me?
Or the child?
Because I'm not like, this is not like I'm dating you because I'm looking for something long term. No, you're here for me. You're here for mom.
And a lot of people think that you're dating to replace that father figure with your child. And it's like, no, my child is fine. Like, and I get that question from men a lot. Like, where's his dad and how's that relationship? And I'm like, I'm not looking for a dad for my son. Now, currently I'm not dating. That's just because I feel like niggas
ain't shit.
And it's getting worse and worse. I was just telling my sister, like, that 40 to 50 age group, those men in their 40s, which is a conversation for another day, I'm disgusted. So right now, I'm not dating anybody, but I have dated, and I said going forward, especially now with him being 13 and him being a teen and him understanding dating and him understanding, I will keep that separate. So I have said for me, I'm not going to take any guy serious. I got the next 5 years, I will not be taking any guy serious. That doesn't mean that I won't go on a date. That doesn't mean I won't go outside, but it's going to be outside. My son is not going to know about it. And that's how I'm going to keep it. Like, I need my focus the next 5 years is getting him through high school, graduating, and off to college. And even then, I won't be living with a man ever. So that's not going to happen. But I'll probably, turn into more of a hot girl, city girl, once he's off to college. But keep my life, keep everything separate. So I have no
Right,
desire to get married again. I have no desire to cohabitate. So it would have to be a man that's, or men, couple, because I believe in having like a
right.
couple lovers. But
You gotta have
story,
more than
story for
one.
another day. But yeah,
You gotta have more than one.
yeah,
Yeah. No, no, I agree. I agree 100%. I just don't see how it fits,
yeah.
into what we have, and everything is so
Hmm.
peaceful. Everything is so
Yeah,
peaceful. The last thing I want is to bring someone into the picture to disrupt
yeah,
that. Um, for what?
yeah.
For like, what does that? What does that do for me? What does that do for him? And I think that they would have to be a pretty extraordinary person for me to want to invite them into both of our lives. And even still, I don't want to live in the house with you.
Hmm.
I don't. Not even just for my child. I don't want to live in the house with you, period.
Same.
I don't. I don't. I did it. I did it once. The first time I did it, and I was like, I ain't never doing this ever.
Hmm.
And then I kind of let it slip the
Yeah,
second
yeah,
time. And I was like, this is why I said I wasn't
yeah.
doing this. I will say, though, I have not cooked for a man since 2008.
What you tell them? You don't know how to cook?
No, I tell them I don't cook for men.
What has been their
I had a
response to
child with
that?
a nigga, with a man that I
You
never
said
cooked
it right. You
for.
had a child with a nigga that you didn't cook for. You said it right.
I have not cooked for a man since 2010, and I tell them I don't cook for men.
And what's their response to that?
Nothing.
Uh huh.
I think they're usually so
Uh
shocked
huh.
to hear a woman say that. What can you say?
Yeah.
What do you
Yeah.
say? And they try to. Oh, I know you like to cook. I love
Me
to cook.
too.
But
Me too.
I don't cook for
Yeah.
men.
It's not happening.
Period.
Yeah.
And this is your opportunity now. You can leave
Yeah.
or you can
Who's
stay.
been who been
I don't
cooking for
care.
you before you met me? Whoever been
You
cooking
know
for
how to
you
cook.
before you met me?
I can see that you eat very
Yeah.
well. I don't cook
Yeah.
for men. I don't. I'm sorry. It's no amount of money, no amount of bills you're paying. I
Yeah.
don't. I don't. I think the next man I cook for would have to be somebody that I married, and I don't see that. I don't see myself getting married.
Do
Mm-mm.
you? Do you see yourself
I,
married? Maybe once your
I
once your son is off to college at that point.
Marriage has never been appealing to me. I haven't wanted to get married since I was playing with
Okay.
Barbies. Honestly, it just maybe because I have never seen what a successful marriage looks like. And even in the ones that are supposed to be successful, once you get to digging
The
in there,
long
it's a
ones.
whole lot of bullshit.
Mm-hmm. Been
Yeah,
married
and
20,
it's just
30 years. Yeah.
oh, we've been married 50
Yeah. And
years.
that lady had
Right?
to
How
put
many
up,
kids you got over there across the street?
that lady had to put up with a lot
Exactly.
in order for it to
It's
stay.
just never. I've been proposed
Yeah,
to.
me
I've
too.
been proposed to by every man that
Me
I've
too.
dated. I just don't.
Me too.
There's nothing. I like my
Me
life.
too. Yeah.
That's why I like being a single
Yeah, me
mother
too.
because I get to
Yeah.
navigate it how I get to create motherhood on my
Yeah.
terms. So
Yeah. I'd
I
say
don't know. They're just
I've been proposed. I've sent men on their way. I can't get married to you and I can't have no more babies. So I want you to go out
mm-mm,
there and I want you to do that. And I have not regretted it, not one bit. When I say I'm having a ball, I'm
yeah.
having a ball. Okay. With this 13-year
And
old
you
child, like
should.
I dropped him
You
off.
should.
He wanted to go to, they had a carnival thing up the street. And Friday he texted me. He's like, Mom, can I go to the carnival across the street? And I'm like, oh, do I need to pick you up and take you over there? He's like, no, I'll walk over there. Just Apple pay me some money and I'll just go after school. And I said, okay, keep me posted and you let me know when I need to come pick you up. And girl, he was out there for 2 hours. I was at the mall. Like it was it's it's
Yeah.
great. And he told me, he was like, okay, I'm ready. And I was like, well, he rides the bus to school, but we live
Mhm.
about a little over a mile from his school. So technically he can walk home.
Right.
So I was like, start walking. So I don't have to be all in it. Girl, by the time I got,
Right.
he had to walk so much. I'm like, I should have just let him walk home.
Right.
But I
You'll
have
be all
been
right. Those
having a
legs work.
ball. I have been having a ball. I can leave him home. I can go have some drinks. I took a
Mm-hmm.
5-hour nap on Saturday and he was playing his game. He was in there cooking him something to eat. So I've been having a ball as a single mom. Like I
Yeah.
am truly a happy single mother. Like really.
I I agree. I do like, I know that we're coming up on time here, but I love that you said you took a 5 hour nap
Hmm.
because I have talked to women, even when my son was younger, and I was telling them, oh, I'm taking a nap. And they're like, how are you napping? You have a child. These are things that you have to establish when they're young.
Yes. Yes.
I started falling asleep on my son when he was 6 months. I would close the door, hold on to his leg. I'm going to
Yeah.
sleep.
Yeah.
I'm going to
Yeah.
sleep. You're not going to drive me
Yeah.
insane. Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
close that door. You get into bed, they don't want to go to sleep. Make sure ain't nothing around that can harm them. Put their toys on the floor, put the bottle on the floor, and you do what you need to do to go to sleep.
and I'm
Yeah.
going to
You
sleep.
have to
Yeah.
establish that very early. I did the same thing, and I think that's a thing that we gloss over. Being a single mother makes you so resourceful. It makes you
Yes.
so resourceful. You learn
Yes.
how to navigate and do things. And that's why people are always like, what did you do? Why is he such a good kid? Baby, we started this a
Yeah.
long time ago.
It's a very long time ago. He knows. He
Yeah.
knows exactly
My
what's up.
son won't even knock on my room door if I'm asleep because he knew if it's not an emergency, don't wake me up. The house ain't on fire, don't
Hmm.
wake me up. I'll be there in
Yeah.
a minute.
And you start
Yeah.
young. You start them young, and they'll know. I never worried about my son walking out the door. None of
Yeah.
that. And I'm going to take a nap. And when I wake up from my nap, you better be in this house. I'm not playing.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, yeah, yeah. You can teach
Mhm.
them. They're intelligent little
They
humans. You
are.
can teach them.
They are.
Yeah,
I love it.
yeah.
Yeah, I absolutely love it. And I hope that we start to see more on this subject. I've been seeing it quite a bit on TikTok. So I'm hoping that we continue to have these discussions about how you can find joy in single
Hmm.
motherhood and you can be a thriving, happy single mom with successful children. So especially with
Yes.
Mother's Day coming up, like I really want women to celebrate themselves. Me personally, I treat Mother's Day like another birthday for me.
Oh,
Yeah,
good,
it's like
good,
me another birthday. So I'm going to go buy myself something. I'm going to the
good.
spa. I'm taking a trip. I'm actually coming to New York. So I'm like, yeah.
Yes, I can't wait.
So I'm like, yeah, I wholeheartedly believe that mothers should treat themselves on Mother's Day. Treat it like your birthday. Go do something
Hmm.
nice for yourself. Even as a single mother, don't wait for people to do it for you. You do it. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
good. Yes, I agree. Well, it was great talking to you
Yeah.
today, babe. Tell the people where they can find you.
All of my socials, so Instagram, TikTok, they're all the Professor Bay at the Professor Bay. So very simple to find me. What about you?
Yes, I am across the board at Diona Richards on all of my platforms. It's just my first name and my last name.
Okay, good. So until
Well,
next
it was good
time,
seeing
you
you.
too. This was great. We'll
All
talk.
right.
Thank you. Bye
Okay.
bye.